Hello and welcome to the Box Score Network YouTube channel. I am Sam Short. Thank you all so much for being here. It's another divisional draft grade video. This one is focusing on the AFC West, grading all 32 teams and their NFL draft class immediately after the draft. So let's get right into it. We're starting the AFC West off with the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs. I'm giving them an A for this class. They were one of three teams that I felt like really understood what their lesson needed to be from last year, and they attacked it in this draft. After getting just bodied in the Super Bowl, they attacked the trenches hard. Josh Simmons, Omar Norman-Lott, and Ashton Gillotte were the first three picks, a left tackle, a defensive tackle, and an edge rusher. All three really tough, really strong players in the trenches. Josh Simmons has the raw talent to be the best tackle in this class when it's all said and done. He's extremely strong and athletic. He lets guys into his body a little too much for me right now, considering the length he has. Like he shouldn't he should be able to punch quick and get his hands out and keep guys off of his body. Which is why I personally have him a little lower on my board, but he has the natural anchor to deal with that. Will that translate to the NFL? We'll have to see. But I also think he's athletic enough to learn how to kind of correct that. So if he cleans that up or he just continues to get stronger and shows that, hey, I can anchor and let guys in my body, there are tackles in the NFL that have done that and had great success. So it's not perfect. It's not perfect teach tape from a hand punch and length standpoint, but he's got all the tools he needs to deal with it. It's just about how much he continues to get better. But this was a great pick by the Chiefs. They've needed a consistent left tackle for years since Eric Fisher really stopped being their left tackle. They haven't had a consistent one for more than a couple of seasons. So Josh Simmons, hopefully, eye to the future, long term starting left tackle for the Chiefs. Norman Lott and Gelati are two all gas, no brakes defensive linemen who have real juice to them. Both can get after the passer, but both are also stout in the run game. I really like how their motor runs. I really like if you watch their tape, they just are not not running at full speed at any point. Omar Norman also runs like Phoebe from Friends, so that's fun. Noah Williams is another fun and feisty corner in this class that I can only imagine is going to develop into a really good starter under Spags, like all the corners do in Kansas City. I really wanted Williams to go to a team that could really develop corners because there's raw talent there, and there's the 1-2 and the kind of crazy factor you need to play corner. So going to the Chiefs, I think is going to be a really really good fit for him. And then Jalen Warren Royals is a fun wide receiver prospect in the mold of a Rashee Rice. He needs to clean up the details of his game, become a more confident hands catcher. He does a lot of body catches or jumping when he doesn't need to catch the ball. But if he just gets a little bit more confident, works on some of the details, I think he can get to work pretty early for the Chiefs as he develops into more of a well-rounded wide receiver. So this was a good draft by the Chiefs. I'm giving them an A. Up next, the LA Chargers. So this was another team actually that learned a lesson from last year. And it's really just they're taking the next step in the team building process. Last year, when Harbaugh and Hortz wanted to set the foundation through the trenches by selecting Joe Alt in the first round, and this year they wanted a little bit more juice. Those running backs ran out of gas by the end of the season. It wasn't the most juiced up wide receiver core, obviously, so they wanted to attack that here, and they do so with an explosive three down back in Omarion Hampton from UNC. They built the line, right, and now Hampton is the guy to run behind that line. And again, three down back, good pass catcher, good explosiveness, wants to run right through people. So hopefully he can keep himself healthy. But he's a really good running back prospect. They got him in the first round. They're going to be a run first team. That's what they want to do. And then they added another big pass catcher, Trey Harris, wide receiver. I had him a little lower myself, but I think he's a really good fit here. I think this is what they're going to want because when they're going to drop back to pass. They're probably going to want to get out quick. And by the way, they'll probably be in a lot of second and fives. And you know what Trey Harris is really good at? It's catching a ball after 3 yards and getting to that first down marker, whatever it is he needs. He's got some yak to him because of his strength and toughness, not because he's got a lot of wiggle and he's going to make guys miss and use blazing speed. But he's hard to bring down. So you get him that ball out there quick. And he's going to get a couple yards. He's going to get that first down that you need. He can also win downfield. He does stack corners. He does get open downfield. So that could be a nice pickup then for the Chargers in Trey Harris. And then the third round, they get a plugger in the middle of the defensive line, Jamari Caldwell, and then the fourth, an edge rusher, and Kyle Kennard. So they're still kind of sticking to that. They're focusing on the trenches. They found diamonds in the rough at corner last year. They threw a couple more darts at DB and offensive linemen in this one. But really, Hampton and Harris providing some juice for this offense is where I see the real value for the Chargers in this one. So I give them an A. The AFC West is killing it in this draft. I love what the Raiders did as well. Gave them an A minus. I thought it was almost perfect draft for them. Ashton Jonte is a top 5 player in the class, and I do think their offensive line is just good enough to take advantage of that, and they'll have the ability to keep improving on it. I'm gonna skip to the third round right now because Darian Porter I think is the perfect corner to match with Pete Carroll in this class. His raw athleticism, his traits, his one-two, his length, his speed overall. Really perfect match for Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll's going to be able to coach him up and make him ready to play because Porter does need development still. He was supposed to really be a day 3 guy, and then the corner class was a little strange as we got closer. He ends up getting pushed up to the third round there, but I think he can be really successful under Carroll. So I like that pick. And then they take 2 swings on offensive linemen to end day 2. Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant. Grant, especially, I think has a pretty high ceiling with his athleticism. So I really like that they're continuing to go for the trenches there. They also got really good value on day 3. Dante Thornton Jr. is a height, weight, speed receiver. Tommy Mellott is a fun QB flex hybrid prospect type player. And then JJ Pegas is a versatile Ole Miss defensive tackle. He's the one that was in a lot of goal line packages on offense too, running the ball. Maybe can catch a pass or two as well. So they got some good value, some fun finds on day 3. But let's backtrack to Jack Besh at 58. I like Besh, don't get me wrong. He'll catch anything over the middle. He's hard to bring down. He's super tough. Good blocker. Willing blocker, I'll say. No, I wouldn't call him good just yet. Willing blocker for sure. But I had him with more of a late third round grade, and they took him pretty early in the second. So at the end of the day, let's say even say a mid second round pick versus a late day 2 pick, you're not breaking the bank. You're not hurting yourself over that too much. Um, but more than anything, I think Besh is also setting up, helping set the culture of at least what the room is going to look like, right? So if it's him, Jacoby Myers, those guys are tough. They're blockers. They do the dirty work. They do the little things. I think it's a culture. This is the way we want to play standpoint for Pete Carroll. And I think Besh can definitely do that. And like I said, he has desirable traits as a wide receiver. He'll have a role. Just if you're taking a guy in the second round, usually I want a little more juice, a little bit more to him. But I think Pete Carroll and Tom Brady, they're setting the foundation for that culture change that they want with this pick. And then rounding out the AFC West, I'm giving the Broncos a C plus, which is fine, which is totally fine. This was kind of a top heavy class for me with the Broncos. I love the Barron pick. Absolutely love Jahdae Barron going here, doubling down on a good defense with a good corner, and this also kind of allows Barron to just play in the slot where I think he's going to excel and be a really, really good nickel corner for them. He can make plays. He can be make plays on the ball. He can cause havoc, cause turnovers. Defense is volatile year to year in the NFL, so you can't just say, "Oh, we had a top 5 defense. We'll bring it. We'll run the same guys back, and we'll be just as good." Now you got to keep adding to it to kind of keep that. So they have the foundation with the line, pass rush, Pat Surtain, obviously. Jahdae Barron is a fun element, a fun wrinkle that they're adding to that. RJ Harvey, a little earlier than I might have wanted for him going in the second round there, but Sean Payton is going to use him and get all the value out of him that he needs, I'm sure. So that's not bad. And then all the other guys kind of, might turn into nice players, but this class really fizzled out, even really at the Harvey pick. So this C plus is really just, hey, Jahdae Barron is a really, really fun pick, really, really fun match for this team. All right, that's going to do it. So that was the AFC West grades. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out the rest of our draft grades that are also up. Thank you all so much.